Hey, everyone, and welcome back. Welcome to What's On Podcast. Credits Gustavo Gomez as both the producer
Oh, wow.
and the director.
Yeah. So to do that, we are going to be looking at two different sources.
Okay.
We've got Lonely Planet. They always have great recommendations.
Yeah.
And then for those big iconic destinations, U.S. News Travel has their official ranking of the top vacation spots.
Sounds like we've got a good mix.
Yeah, we are going to try to give everyone listening a little taste of each location.
Cool.
Really highlight what makes them special, worth considering for your next big adventure, or even just to add to that ever-growing bucket list.
That's a good point. Sometimes it's fun just to dream.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so let's start with U.S. News Travel. They always put out their list, kind of the tried and true.
Yeah, they do a really comprehensive ranking.
Yeah. So for 2025, drum roll please, their #1 destination is the Swiss Alps.
Classic.
I know, right? It's like, who doesn't love the Swiss Alps?
It's hard to go wrong there.
But I think what's interesting is, we always hear about breathtaking views and charming villages.
Yeah, for sure.
But what really sets the Swiss Alps apart, what makes them worth a visit, maybe even more than once?
Well, I think it's the variety. You've got these fairy tale-like villages nestled between the mountains,
Right.
and that's just the setting. When you think about activities, it's a year-round destination.
Yeah, good point.
Winter, of course, is all about skiing.
Yeah.
And we're talking world-class skiing. You've got St. Moritz, super glamorous, a real playground for the jet set.
Oh, yeah, I've seen pictures.
And then Zermatt, with that iconic Matterhorn view, super famous.
I mean, those are bucket list destinations right there.
Definitely. And then picture this. After a day on the slopes, you're in a cozy chalet.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Fireplace roaring, and you're enjoying a delicious pot of fondue. Like, does it get any better than that?
I'm sold. Sign me up for next winter.
But, you mentioned variety. Summer in the Alps is just as magical. The snow melts. You've got lush green valleys, wildflowers everywhere.
Oh, wait, that sounds beautiful.
Hiking, biking. You can explore those charming towns.
Oh, like what towns are we talking?
Well, there's Grindelwald. It's almost too pretty to be real.
Yeah.
And Mürren, which is completely car-free. So peaceful.
That sounds amazing.
And for a truly unforgettable experience, you have to take the Jungfrau Railway.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It takes you up to Europe's highest railway station.
Wow.
The views are there are no words.
Okay, Swiss Alps, you are officially on my bucket list.
Good choice.
But I know U.S. News Travel has more amazing destinations on their list.
Oh, yeah, they've got some real gems.
So let's see what's next. What's #2?
Get ready for a change of scenery. #2 is Bora Bora.
Bora Bora. Okay, that's like the ultimate tropical paradise.
Exactly.
Overwater bungalows, turquoise lagoons. I feel like I've seen a million pictures of Bora Bora.
It's one of those places that lives up to the hype.
Right, but is there more to it than just the, picture-perfect scenery?
Oh, definitely. Bora Bora has this natural beauty that's kind of unreal. You've got Mount Automano.
Okay.
It's an extinct volcano, and it just dominates the skyline. You can hike it if you're feeling adventurous.
Oh, wow. Is it a tough hike?
Pretty challenging. But even if you just admire it from afar, it's pretty breathtaking.
I can imagine. And what about beaches? Any standouts?
You can't talk about Bora Bora without mentioning Matera Beach. It's consistently ranked as one of the world's most beautiful.
Really? What makes it so special?
Picture this. Soft white sand, palm trees swaying in the breeze, and water so clear you can practically see forever.
Okay, I am officially daydreaming now.
It's hard not to.
But, we both know that paradise often comes with a price tag.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So how does Bora Bora fare in that department?
Well, I'm not going to lie. It's definitely a splurge.
Okay.
It's a luxury destination, so if you're on a tight budget, it might be more of a dream for now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're looking for that once-in-a-lifetime escape, the kind of place where you can completely disconnect from the world
Right.
and just reconnect with yourself, surrounded by all that beauty,
Yeah.
Bora Bora is pretty hard to beat.
Okay, good to know. So we've had a taste of alpine wonder and tropical paradise.
Quite the range.
It is. Where does U.S. News Travel take us next?
Well, from natural wonders, we're heading to a treasure trove of history and culture. #3 is Rome.
Rome. It's like stepping into a history book.
Exactly.
The Colosseum, the Trevi Fountain, the Pantheon, it's all so iconic.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
But what's amazing about Rome is that even if you've done the standard tourist circuit,
Yeah.
there's always more to uncover.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Hidden gems?
Yeah.
Secret spots?
Definitely. Get lost in those back streets.
Okay.
You'll find charming little cafes, incredible art galleries, and these unique boutiques
Cool.
selling everything from handmade leather goods to vintage treasures. It's shopper's paradise, honestly.
And what about views? Any recommendations for, like, the best panorama of the city?
Oh, absolutely. Climb Janiculum Hill. It's a bit of a hike, but trust me, the view is worth it, especially at sunset.
Okay, that's going on the list. But speaking of planning, you mentioned something about 2025 being a special year for Rome?
Oh, yeah, that's right. 2025 is a Catholic Jubilee year.
Okay.
It's a huge event for the Catholic Church, and pilgrims from all over the world will be heading to Rome.
Wow, that's got to be an incredible atmosphere.
It will be, but also incredibly crowded. So if anyone's thinking of going in 2025, book everything early.
Solid advice. Okay, before we jump into the rest of U.S. News Travel's top picks, I want to see what Lonely Planet has for us.
Yeah, let's see what hidden gems they've uncovered.
They always have such interesting recommendations, off the beaten path.
Definitely. Let's see. They're recommending Toulouse, France, which they call Paris in miniature,
Ooh, I like that.
but it seems to have its own unique charm, of course.
Yeah.
And then there's Bansko, Bulgaria, a mountain town that's become a haven for digital nomads.
Ooh, Bansko sounds intriguing. I've never even heard of that one.
It's definitely under the radar.
Okay, so much to explore. But let's get back to U.S. News Travel's list for now.
Right. We've got more ground to cover.
We do. So at number 4, they have Machu Picchu,
Ah, Machu Picchu.
the lost city of the Incas. I feel like it's on everyone's bucket list, and for good reason.
It's one of those truly magical places.
But what is it about Machu Picchu that makes it so special? Beyond, the obvious historical significance.
Well, it's the combination of history, architecture, and that incredible natural setting.
Yeah.
Imagine these ancient ruins,
Yeah.
perched high in the Andes Mountains, often shrouded in mist.
It's like something out of a movie.
It is. And the journey to get there is part of the adventure. You can hike the Inca Trail, which is challenging but rewarding.
I've heard it's tough.
Yeah, but so worth it. Or you could take the train, which is a bit more comfortable.
Right, for those of us who maybe aren't up for the big trek.
Exactly. But either way, when you finally reach those ruins, especially at sunrise, it's an experience you'll never forget.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list. No question. What's next?
All right, from ancient ruins to a city that's all about modern innovation. Number 5 is Tokyo, Japan.
Tokyo. I've always wanted to go there. It just seems like a completely different world.
It kind of is. It's a sensory overload in the best possible way. Neon lights, ancient temples, cutting-edge technology. It's all happening in Tokyo.
And the food. I mean, everyone raves about the food in Tokyo.
The food scene is incredible. Sushi, ramen, street food, those exquisite kaiseki meals.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Your taste buds will be on a constant adventure in Tokyo, that's for sure.
Okay, I need to go there ASAP. But for now, let's keep moving down the list.
All right, what's next? Let's see. Number 6, we're heading to Maui, Hawaii.
Maui. Okay, that's a bit more my speed. I'm all about that island life.
Maui is all about embracing the aloha spirit. It's got those iconic beaches,
Yeah.
but also these incredible volcanic landscapes, lush rainforests, just natural beauty everywhere you look.
I mean, pictures never do it justice, right?
They really don't.
Yeah.
You have to experience it for yourself. You could drive the road to Hana. It's a winding coastal road with amazing views.
Okay, I've heard of that.
And then, of course, you have to hike through Holekale National Park.
Oh, yeah, that's the volcano, right?
Exactly. It's incredible. But, you can also just relax on the beach, soak up that Hawaiian sunshine.
That sounds perfect to me.
Right. And then for a real cultural immersion, don't miss a traditional loo.
Oh, yeah, with the music and the dancing.
The food, it's a
Yeah.
whole experience.
Definitely adding Maui to the list. Okay, what's next?
All right, from the laid-back vibes of Maui, we're going to the ultimate escape. Number 7 is the Maldives.
Maldives. Okay, now we're talking luxury.
Pure escapism. Picture yourself in an overwater bungalow,
I'm trying.
perched above these crystal-clear turquoise lagoons. You can snorkel right off your deck, dive among vibrant coral reefs,
Yeah.
or just unwind with a spa treatment while listening to the waves. It's a place to completely disconnect.
It sounds heavenly.
It really is. If you're looking for a place to recharge, reconnect with yourself, the Maldives is it.
Okay, I think I need a vacation just listening to this.
Me too. But we've got more destinations to cover. Number 8 is Tanzania.
Tanzania. Okay, that's a bit of a shift.
It is. But if you're a wildlife enthusiast or if you've always dreamed of going on safari, Tanzania is the place to be.
So we're talking like the Serengeti, right?
Exactly. The Serengeti National Park is where you can witness the Great Migration, millions of wildebeest and zebras thundering across the plains.
I've seen that on documentaries. It's incredible.
It's something else.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can try to spot the big five: lions, elephants, leopards, rhinos, and buffalo.
Oh, wow, in their natural habitat.
Yeah, it's a truly humbling experience. And when you need a break from the safari adventure,
Okay.
you can head to the coast and relax on the beaches of Zanzibar or Pemba. Just stunning.
Wow, Tanzania sounds amazing. Okay, what's next?
Let's see. Number 9 takes us from the land to the sea. It's the Great Barrier Reef.
Ah, the Great Barrier Reef. It's one of those natural wonders you just have to see in your lifetime.
Absolutely. It's like
Yeah.
an underwater kaleidoscope. So much color, so much life.
I've heard it's even more impressive than pictures can capture.
It really is.
Yeah.
You can go diving, of course, if you're
Wait.
certified.
Yeah.
But even if you prefer to stay dry, you can still experience the reef from a glass-bottom boat
Right.
or snorkeling. It's
Yeah.
just breathtaking.
But I know there have been concerns about the health of the reef in recent years.
Yeah, that's true. Climate change is a real threat to the Great Barrier Reef.
So what can travelers do to help protect it?
Well, it's important to choose eco-friendly tour operators.
Okay.
Make sure they're following sustainable practices and support organizations that are working to conserve the reef.
That's good advice.
Mm.
Okay, last but not least, what's U.S. News Travel's final pick for the top 10 destinations in 2025?
Get ready to step back in time. Number 10 is Petra in Jordan.
Petra. Oh, I've seen pictures of that. It's that city carved into the cliffs, right?
Exactly. It's truly a sight to behold, a testament to the ingenuity and artistry of the Nabatean people.
Yeah, it's just incredible what they were able to create.
The most iconic structure is the treasury.
Right, the one you see in all the photos.
Yeah, it's just breathtaking. You walk through this narrow gorge, and then it appears before you.
Wow.
But there's so much more to explore in Petra: the monastery, the royal tombs, all these incredible structures.
Sounds like you could easily spend a few days there.
Definitely. And for a truly magical experience, they recommend Petra by night.
What's that?
They illuminate the whole site with hundreds of candles.
Wow, that sounds incredible.
It's supposed to be really special.
Okay, Petra is officially on my list. Wow, we've covered some seriously amazing destinations.
It's been quite the journey already.
It has. But here's where things get even more interesting. It turns out Lonely Planet and U.S. News Travel have some overlap in their recommendations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they both included Toulouse, Bansko, Chiang Mai, Genoa, Pittsburgh, Osaka, Curitiba, Palma de Mallorca, and Edmonton.
Wow, that's quite a few.
It is, so it seems like those destinations might offer something extra special.
Yeah, they must appeal to a wide range of travelers, even those with different perspectives on what makes a destination the best.
Absolutely. So that's what we're going to dive into. Next, we're going to take a closer look at those shared destinations and see what we can uncover when we combine the insights from both sources. Ready to explore.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Welcome back, everyone.
All right, we are back and ready to keep exploring. So many amazing destinations already, but now we're getting into those spots that both Lonely Planet and U.S. News Travel think you absolutely have to see.
The best of the best.
I know, right? Like when these two sources agree, you know it's got to be good.
Definitely a good sign.
So to kick things off, let's head to Bansko, Bulgaria.
Oh, Bansko. It's one of those places that seems to have a bit of a split personality.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What do you mean by that?
Well, Lonely Planet calls it out as changing from a winter haven to a year-round destination,
Oh,
drawing in adventurers, but also those digital nomads.
interesting mix. So what is it about Bansko that draws in such different types of travelers?
It's got a little something for everyone, I guess.
Yeah.
From December to April, Bansko is all about the skiing.
Yeah.
But beyond the slopes, it's got this charming village vibe with a really unique culture.
Lonely Planet mentioned starting your day with a banitsa pastry at Salmon Bakery.
Oh, yeah, the banitsa.
Now, I'm not familiar with banitsa. What is it exactly?
So picture flaky phyllo pastry layered with cheese and eggs, sometimes spinach or meat.
Okay, that sounds good.
It's a Balkan classic, and apparently the ones at Salmon Bakery are legendary.
The best of the best.
Right. And I love how Lonely Planet also suggested looking for art by a local artist named Irina.
Okay, what kind of art does she make?
She does these satirical paintings, often poking fun at local life and politics.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a unique way to get a feel for the local humor, the local perspective.
Definitely not your typical souvenir.
Exactly.
Okay, Bansko, you've officially piqued my interest. But let's keep moving. What's next?
Let's head to Italy, but not to the usual spots.
Okay.
We're going to Genoa, a city Lonely Planet calls an undiscovered gem.
Undiscovered in Italy. That's hard to
I know,
believe.
right? But it seems like Genoa has managed to stay under the radar, even though it's right there on the Italian Riviera.
So what makes it stand out, especially for those of us who might have already hit those more popular Italian cities?
Genoa seems to be all about authenticity. It's got that rich history, the maritime heritage,
Yeah?
but it hasn't been overrun by tourists. Lonely Planet really highlighted the food scene, especially the different ways they use pesto.
Oh, pesto. Now you're speaking my language. What do they recommend?
They had to head to the Mercato Orientale. It's a bustling market with all sorts of local specialties.
Okay.
And try the pesto on trophy pasta. It's this local twisted pasta shape.
Ooh, I love trying local pasta shapes.
Right. Or you can get pesto slathered on focaccia bread.
That sounds amazing. And what about exploring the city itself? Any must-sees?
Definitely get lost in the Karugi.
Karugi, what are those?
They're these narrow, winding alleyways that crisscross the historic center,
Okay.
full of hidden squares, artisan workshops, those unexpected discoveries that make exploring a new city so fun.
Absolutely. Did Lonely Planet have any recommendations for something a little more off the beaten path, even for Genoa?
They suggested a coastal walk to a village called Bocadas.
Okay.
They said it's got those colorful houses perched along the cliffs, kind of like a mini Cinque Terre,
I love Cinque Terre.
but without the crowds.
Even better.
Yeah. Okay, from the Italian Riviera, let's jump across the pond to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh. Now, that might not be the first place people think of when they hear travel destination,
I know what you mean.
but Lonely Planet made it sound really cool. Like a mix of industrial history and this thriving art scene.
Okay, I can see that. Pittsburgh has definitely gone through a transformation in recent years. Yeah, they said it's become a magnet for artists and entrepreneurs, largely because it's still relatively affordable.
That makes sense.
And they highlighted Butler Street as a must-see.
Okay, what's happening on Butler Street?
It's where you find that cool mix of old and new. Independent coffee shops next to
Yeah.
vintage stores.
I like that.
Art galleries tucked into former warehouses. They even recommended Lorelei.
Okay.
It's a beer hall with this really unique vibe.
Oh,
Cocktails, wood-fired pizza. They said it's a great spot.
I'm always up for pizza and cocktails. But what about something a little more, let's say, classic Pittsburgh? Did they have any recommendations for experiencing the city's industrial past?
They suggested taking a ride on the Duquesne Incline.
The incline. What's that?
It's one of the few remaining inclines in the U.S.
Okay.
Basically, a cable car that takes you up Mount Washington.
For the views, I'm guessing?
Oh, yeah. So the views of the city, the three rivers, it's all incredible.
All right, Pittsburgh, I'm adding you to my list. What's next?
Let's head south to Curitiba, Brazil.
Curitiba. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one.
It's a city that Lonely Planet described as a model of citizen-focused urban planning.
Citizen-focused. What does that mean?
They highlighted Curitiba's commitment to sustainability.
Okay.
With this impressive public transportation system, lots of green spaces.
Yeah.
They even encouraged the use of e-bikes to get around.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it seems like a really forward-thinking city. And if you're into architecture, they recommended the Museo Oscar Niemeyer.
I have to admit, I'm not an architecture buff. Who is Oscar Niemeyer?
He was a famous Brazilian architect known for these bold, curvy designs.
Okay.
And the museum in Curitiba showcases his work, and apparently it's a masterpiece in itself.
Wow. And what about nature? Any good parks or green spaces?
Lonely Planet suggested Barigi Park.
Okay, what's special about it? I mean, parks are great, but there are parks everywhere.
This one is huge. It's got forests, lakes, even a small hydroelectric plant powered by an artificial waterfall.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, they said it's the perfect place to escape the city bustle, reconnect with nature.
And if you want to venture a bit further outside the city?
They recommended a scenic train ride on the Serra Verde Express.
Okay, tell me more about this train ride.
It takes you from Curitiba to Moretes, a historic town on the coast.
Okay.
The journey winds through mountains, rainforest, just stunning scenery along the way.
All right, Curitiba, I'm adding you to my list. One more stop on this leg of our deep dive.
Okay, where to?
Let's go to Edmonton, Canada.
Edmonton. It's a city that's often overlooked, but it sounds like it's got a lot to offer.
What stood out to you?
Lonely Planet really emphasized the Edmonton International Fringe Festival.
Fringe festivals are always fun. What's special about this one?
They said it's one of the biggest in North America, with all sorts of performances. Theater, music, comedy, you name it.
Sounds like a great way to experience the creative energy of the city.
Definitely. They also recommended checking out White Avenue.
Okay,
It's the main drag in the old Strathcona district.
cool.
They said it's got this bohemian vibe with independent boutiques, art galleries, and a really diverse culinary scene.
And for someone who wants to delve a little deeper into the history and culture of the region.
They suggested the Royal Alberta Museum,
Okay.
which is apparently the largest museum in Western Canada.
Wow.
They specifically highlighted the Human History Hall, which explores the province's Indigenous heritage.
Very cool. Wow, what a mix of destinations we've covered.
It's amazing how each place, despite being so different, seems to offer something unique and special.
I completely agree. And it's so interesting how both Lonely Planet and U.S. News Travel, with their different approaches to travel recommendations,
Yeah.
have both highlighted these destinations as must-sees.
Definitely speaks to the diversity of experiences out there, you know.
Mhm.
There's something for everyone.
Absolutely. But we still got a few more dual recommended destinations to uncover.
We do.
Ready for the final leg of our journey.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're back, ready to wrap up our travel adventure. We've explored mountains and islands, bustling cities and charming towns, and now it's time for our final few destinations, the ones that both Lonely Planet and U.S. News Travel agree deserve a spot on your must-see list.
It's really fascinating how these two sources, with their different approaches, have both highlighted these particular destinations.
I agree. So, for our final exploration, let's start with Toulouse, France. Lonely Planet called it Paris in miniature, but with a musical twist.
Right. U.S. News Travel also mentioned it being a UNESCO City of Music.
Exactly. So, being music lovers, what kind of musical experiences did Lonely Planet recommend?
Well, first and foremost, they said to catch a live show. They recommended Le Saint Design for rock and alternative music,
Okay, that sounds cool.
or Le Taquin if you're more into jazz. And for classical music, they suggested Théâtre de Capitole.
Nice, something for everyone. But what about for those of us who are more visual than auditory? Did they have any recommendations for experiencing the beauty of Toulouse?
They suggested taking an architectural tour, focusing on the Romanesque Basilique Saint-Sernin and the grand neoclassical Capitol building. They said the architecture really reflects the city's rich history.
It sounds like a city made for wandering and exploring. Did they have any tips for how to experience that local culture, something a bit off the beaten path?
For a taste of local life, they suggested packing a picnic with fresh produce from Marché Victor Hugo.
Oh, I love that idea.
Or, if you're not in the mood for a picnic, you can head to one of the eateries above the market for a cassoulet lunch.
Now, hold on, cassoulet. What is that exactly?
Cassoulet is a slow-cooked French stew, usually with beans, duck or goose confit, and sausage. It's like the ultimate comfort food.
That sounds delicious.
Mm.
All right, next on our list of dual recommendations is Chiang Mai, Thailand, a place we both agreed sounded incredible for its food scene alone.
Right. Remember that common greeting Lonely Planet highlighted, "Have you eaten yet?"
Yeah, it really shows how important food is in Chiang Mai.
Exactly. So they really encouraged visitors to dive headfirst into that culinary scene. They mentioned the Chiang Mai Food Festival, which takes place every January.
Oh, yeah, they said it's a great way to sample all the regional specialties.
Right. But for a more local experience, off the beaten path, they recommended checking out the Friday morning Kadbanhor Market.
Okay, what makes this market so special?
It's known for its Unanese, Muslim, and tribal delicacies, things you wouldn't find at the more touristy markets.
So we're talking like really unique, authentic flavors.
Exactly. They said it's a feast for the senses.
I'm sold. But before we move on, any recommendations for experiencing Chiang Mai's culture beyond the food scene?
They suggested attending a Kantoki dinner at the old Chiang Mai Cultural Center.
Refresh my memory, what exactly is a Kantoki dinner?
It's a traditional northern Thai dining experience. You sit on cushions on the floor, and they serve you all these different dishes, usually accompanied by traditional music and dance performances. Okay, that sounds amazing. From the culinary delights of Chiang Mai, let's jump to a place that's known for its modern innovations and energy. Osaka, Japan.
Osaka, right. They're hosting Expo 2025, so it's definitely a city that's forward-looking. But Lonely Planet also highlighted the nightlife there, especially in the Dotonbori district.
Putonbori, that's the one with all the crazy neon signs, right?
Exactly. They said just walking through those streets, taking in all the sights and sounds is an experience in itself.
Okay, I can imagine. But they also recommended Osaka Castle, right?
They did. It's considered one of Japan's most impressive castles. It dates back to the 16th century and played a big role in Japanese history. The museum inside is supposed to be really fascinating.
Very cool. Did they have any other, let's say, less traditional recommendations for Osaka?
They recommended checking out Spa World.
Spa World. What is that? Some kind of luxury spa?
Not exactly. It's an onsen amusement park.
An onsen amusement park. Okay, I've never heard of that. It's basically this giant complex with all these different themed baths inspired by cultures from around the world.
Wow, that sounds unique.
Definitely a quirky way to experience Japanese bathing culture.
Okay, Osaka has officially moved way up on my list, but we've got one more dual recommended destination, Palma de Mallorca, Spain. What did Lonely Planet have to say about this one?
They described it as a stylish city with a great food scene, an impressive arts and craft heritage, and of course, beautiful beaches.
It's a Mediterranean island, so beaches are a given. Didn't they also mention something about a new development happening in Palma in 2025?
They did. They said a new green waterfront promenade is set to open, which will offer amazing views of the harbor.
Very cool. Did they have any specific recommendations for things to see and do in Palma?
For art lovers, they recommended the Fundació Miró Mallorca.
Who was Miro, and what makes this foundation worth visiting?
Joan Miró was a Catalan artist, known for his colorful, surrealist works. The foundation in Palma features his studios and a collection of his art, as well as temporary exhibitions.
Very cool. And for a taste of Palma's history and charm, any specific recommendations?
They suggested staying in a soulfully converted historic building, something with character. And for getting around and exploring, they recommended renting a bike.
I love exploring by bike. What a journey this has been. From the Swiss Alps to the Maldives, Tokyo to Toulouse, we've covered so much ground.
It's been amazing to see how Lonely Planet and U.S. News Travel, with their different perspectives, have both highlighted places that offer something special for every type of traveler.
I couldn't agree more. So for everyone listening, we hope this deep dive has inspired you to explore new horizons and create your own unforgettable travel memories. Until next time.